My friends, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Let's do a quick little market update video. Last one I did was Sunday of last week. We'll go through, we'll talk about what I got wrong, what I got right, and what I kind of think going forward. So let's do it. If you're new to the channel, please first and foremost like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already, Colin_Gladman. If anything happens throughout the day or any big piece of news breaks, that's where I'm always going to be tweeting out my intraday, intra-week thoughts. Anytime we have a big enough change that I think it requires a video, of course, I'll always try to get on here and make that video. And of course, your support, the more support these videos get, the more I'm going to make them. That's just how it works, right? So let's do it. Let's talk about some indexes first. So the first thing I want to talk about is the when in doubt, zoom out, right? So I have overall been very bullish. I've been very right about being bullish. And what I want you to look at is I want you to just look at this monthly chart right now. So this is SPY on a monthly basis. Our last month's candle obviously is November. That's going to be this one up here at the top. It's very similar to what happened a year ago last November. So this correction that started back here in December of 2021, you literally had a bear market that pretty much lasted over 2 years, right? Or right at 2 years. So we've got November of 2021, November of 2023. In those 2 years, SPY literally went nowhere. And it went a lot down before it recovered. So you have an overall bear market that lasted 2 years, really didn't start breaking out, didn't even make a new higher close from that 2021 bear market until November of January 2024. So that's the first time you had a monthly close that was higher than what happened in November and December of 2021. So a bear market essentially 2 years in the making. And January is when you first made a higher close, and now we've pushed higher. But what does all anybody want to say? We need a pullback, right? Don't worry about the fact that you got a 4% pullback in April, or you got a 10% pullback in August, or we just recently had another 4% pullback. These idiots on Twitter just keep saying, we need a pullback. So keep being wrong, keep staying wrong, keep thinking that if that's what you want to believe. But I'm telling you right now, this thing's got legs, and it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going into the end of the year. I do think there's going to be moments and months and weeks of pullbacks. I especially think coming up in February or March of next year as, the new, Trump, the new cabinet is essentially coming in and getting settled. I think that is going to be some shaky times in that kind of February, March of this upcoming year. But overall, this thing is going higher. And it's going much higher in my opinion. I easily think that 750 is on the table for this next year. We just got a breakout in December of last year of a 2-year bull market, a 2-year bear market. On average, when bear markets last about the average bear market lasts about 1.5 years. The average bull market after a bear market lasts for about, on average, 3.5 years. I tweeted this out last night. So this thing has got legs. But feel free to keep buying puts. And thank you in advance for your sacrifice. So, I said last week my target was 600 to 604 on SPY. We closed the week at 602.55. We'll call that a win. Overall, I still think this move has got legs. I think we're going to be green this upcoming week overall. I'm looking for about 610 this week. So if we get above 605, then I think we'll see a relatively quick move to 610. Overall, the data is pretty light. This is the time of the year where lots of buybacks start taking place. The data is light this week. There's really no major roadblocks. Friday is non-farm payrolls. That's going to be a big pre-mover on Friday. So have that on your calendar. And of course, yes, there's all the usual data that's going on, but overall, this thing is going to still, in my opinion, anywhere between 620 to 640 by the end of the year, maybe even more if good data comes out. And like I said, we need a pullback. We literally just pulled back, right? We pushed up. This is when Trump got elected. We pushed up. Then we came back and we retested all the previous highs, and now we started pushing up. Never underestimate when your previous ceiling now becomes your new floor. The buyer stepped in right here. And whether you like it or not, whether that goes with your bias or not, that's what happened on the chart. This is as clean as it gets. You retested the previous highs and you got a nice push up off of that. And I said last week that because it was going to be Thanksgiving week, we would have a short, choppy, low volume trading week. Monday, red. Tuesday, green. Wednesday, red. Thursday, green. That's choppy. Let's go look at the volume. Let's turn it on. What happened? Each day of the week was lower volume except for Tuesday. So the green day was the highest volume day of the week, followed by lesser volume, followed by lesser volume. Okay? Once again, look at this monthly candle. Would you just look at it, right? Very, very, very similar to what we saw at the end of summer. Remember, if you'll remember, I was bullish all the end of summer till we got to the end of September, October. Seasonality, that's when things get weak. We had a nice pullback. And then if you'll remember, I was also bearish in October. And I said, now we're set up for an explosive move higher. That's a pretty good move. And this next month is going to be probably close to the same. I would expect a candle very similar to this. So overall, last December, we were up another 4%. So another, I think anywhere between 4 to 8% is what we can expect. So at 4%, that's going to be 630. Really good month, up to 8%, 650. That's what I'm looking for overall. QQQ. Here's another one. This is June, guys. So for June, July, August, September, October, QQQ pretty much went nowhere. If anything, you had a super steep correction, right? Remember, this is when, the carry trade was going on and everybody was freaking out and everybody thought that, Michael Gate or Gayed or however you say it was going to be right for the first time in 800 predictions. And then what happened? The dip got bought. Now we're going higher. Our first monthly higher close since, I guess September we did close higher. But overall, our first clear and obvious monthly close that we really went somewhere since June. So for 5 months, went nowhere. Now we're catching a breakout. And Twitter wants to be like, we need a pullback? Idiots. We recovered the daily 5 SMA, the 9 EMA, bounced off the 21 multiple times. This one, also too, with your falling resistance, right? Finally got a close above. If NVIDIA starts to get strong again, get some legs again, this thing is going much higher. I fully expect testing the previous all-time highs at a minimum this week. So that means pushing up to about 515 at a minimum. Looking at it the same way that I look at SPY or any other chart. Yeah, so I think 515 happens this week. Maybe outside chance at 520 if things go really well. But 515 I definitely think has a chance. Full disclosure, I am in QQQ calls as of right now. Yes, because I closed out some on Friday. Let me double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure that's right though. Sorry, this is the time of the year where I also have a lot going on. Yes. Yes, I am in QQQ calls right now that are currently up about 10% for this next week. They expire Friday of this next week. So overall, I think certainly a push up towards 515 is going to happen. Might get a rejection up in there before continuing higher. And then any pullback towards about 508 really needs to hold about 508.50. Any type of pullback into that area needs to hold. But once again, for all the we need a pullback, literally just had a pullback. We had a 60% pullback of this move right here. But we need a pullback? Like just dumb. Like I said, thank you in advance. So once again, here's some good price targets to be looking at along the way. And then overall, 525 to 550 by end of the year, in my opinion. IWM. Literally the first time since 2021. All the way back over here. IWM. First monthly close above these 2021 closes. But yeah, we need a pullback. I love the look of IWM here. As far as you got the good strong push. Remember, this was the falling wedge that I talked about. Then we broke out. Now you're just consolidating as your higher time frame EMAs catch up. And what I mean by that is like on a daily basis. So as these EMAs catch up, I'm absolutely looking for a move through 245. And then we're starting to get into uncharted territory. So when you're in uncharted territory, the best way, remember, this was also a 60% pullback. So literally just had a 60% pullback. We don't need more. This gave us the rocket fuel. But I'm looking for a move overall to 250, and I think 260 to 270 by end of the year is a very reasonable price target on IWM. Anytime you see gaps happen, it's just because most people don't know how to trade gaps. But most people view gaps as bearish. That is just wrong. Now, are they, certain types of gaps anyway. Anytime your gap happens and is defended strongly by buyers, so on IWM, gap up, defended, gap up, defended, gap up, defended. Anytime you have that many gaps up and they're being defended constantly, it shows you the strength of the prevailing trend, the overall move that's going on underneath it. Why? Because buyers are stepping in before those gaps get closed. For instance, every time IWM gapped up right here, what happened? So it gapped up, sold off, gapped up, sold off, gapped up, sold off. So those gap ups got sold off to fill the gaps. Therefore, that shows you that actually the selling trend here is weaker than the buying trend that's going up. But that's not something uneducated Twitter will tell you. They'll just tell you, gap up, I'll wait for gap fill. Yeah, keep waiting on that gap fill. Let me know how it works out for you. But IWM, I think, looks great. For Tesla, this is the look that I'm looking at right now. Beautiful consolidation. On Friday, recovered its daily 9 and 5. So I love that look. Now, not going to sugarcoat it. Tesla was one that I was wrong about last week. I thought that we were going to hit probably about 370, and we only gapped up to about 362, and then we sold off. And same thing. Every day, we got a gap up. We sold off. We sold off. I love this look right here where it basically faked this gap fill, then got bought up. And then on Friday, what happened? We gapped up and we pushed up basically all day long. So a couple different price targets I would be looking at on Tesla. In the short term, I'm still looking for about 370 to 380. I think is very doable for this week. And then a little bit longer time frame, I like this move right here. So yeah, there's a lot of confluence that around 370 to 380, but overall, I still fully anticipate Tesla pushing up and testing that 400 by the end of the year, maybe even a little bit higher. There's no secret about it. Tesla is on also, in my opinion, a multi-year breakout. its highest monthly close since March of 2022. But people still can't tell you about how they're going to buy the crap out of the dip at 300. Okay. Why didn't you buy this dip, or 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 this dip? I said when Tesla had its Q2 earnings, or I'm sorry, Q1 earnings back here. Don't make me go pull the receipts. You know I will. This right here, I said Tesla just had its meta moment. This thing is going to run, I think, at minimum doubles over the next couple of years, and anything on top of that is gravy on the biscuit. So I won't be selling any covered calls on my Tesla shares. TSLL is going to be what I use to swing shares around with. But yeah, this next month, I think it could have about a 10 to 20% month. So let's see here. So, I mean, just on a 10% month alone, that's testing 380, 20%, 417. So, yeah. Looks great. Sofi, another one. So, think of the candle I just literally showed you on Tesla, right? So, don't be surprised when Sofi just had a 50% month, a 40% month, followed by a 50% month. This is one I'm holding on to on shares. I think I can still easily have a 100% plus winner here just on the shares that I bought. SoFi, I think there's going to always be choppy moments and pullbacks, but it's certainly on its way to test these previous all-time highs. Very similar chart to Palantir, right? Once it finally got its breakout, making its way, and SoFi is going to do this as far as I'm concerned. So I think it looks great, especially over the next 12 to 24 months. Very clean breakout on a daily basis. Right? It's just riding its way up. I think it looks great on a daily basis. I would say this is one I'm in shares in, guys, so I don't pay too much attention to it on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, I mean, rejected right off your 618 extension right here. But I think it's going to be next couple of weeks, probably going to be pushing 20 pretty easily. Chilling. Mara, here's another one. Bought shares in. First monthly higher close since February. Obviously, I'm been posting how good Bitcoin looks since it was down at like 23,000. Most recent post I posted, it looked great at like 63,000. I still think it looks great. I posted that as of yesterday. Mara, this is exactly what you want to see. This high volume push, then the volume gets sucked out on all this correction and pullback, and then now the volume is coming in. Fully expect a move up towards 50 plus. I mean, if we get back here, kind of look at this, right? Next 12 to 24 months, golly, numbers get a little batty right there. But yeah, I mean, next 12 months, this thing could beat 100, maybe more. And historically, this is the time that crypto does really well, post-presidential elections. So yeah, I love it. I'm just chilling in shares. Don't be surprised. I think all-time highs are on table by this time next year. Looks great. AI, same thing, weekly basis. Talked about this chart last week. I look at it as nothing more than retesting these previous highs. It's a great merger acquisition style play. Microsoft, I mean, overall, same thing. Look at it on a monthly basis, guys. Clean breakout on a monthly basis. I think it looks great. NVIDIA, on a daily basis, I want to see it get close above 140. I think at a minimum, NVIDIA is going to retrace to at least probably 145 before any more potential downside. So 145 to 150 It could reject over here, but I think even into the end of the year, it's going to kind of push up, float, be a little choppy, then might roll over come that January, into January, March time. But overall, I mean, you got exactly what you wanted down here. You had a high volume spinning top candle back at previous resorts. Excuse me, supports, not resorts. Sorry, guys. One of those days. But you held your trend line from here. If it keeps basing, bears don't shove this thing down lower. It's absolutely going to go higher. I wanted a retest of about 130. We didn't quite get that low. So, yeah, I mean, I think this thing looks great. Palantir, another one, monthly basis, looks fantastic. I talked about this one last week, the way it was flagging out. And that Friday candle had the breakout. Overall, got a nice push up. I think it's going to continue here as well. It's one that people keep going, it can't go any higher, and it keeps going higher, right? So long as that's the sentiment behind it, it's going to keep going, right? Hood, another one I think looks fantastic. I bought shares back down here when it held this gap up support, put in a hammer candle right here around 30. I think it looks great. Any retest of 35, in my opinion, are going to be very viable. You love this look. Anytime it's consolidating and that volume gets sucked out, it's just consolidating before its next move up. And if crypto stays strong, which I believe it will, obviously, Hood is another one. I think it's an easy 100% share trade winner that I'm holding on to right now. And I've got the small account going in my Discord. I think I'll post everything that I'm holding in my small account right now, but no, I don't ever post my exact entries and exits unless you're in my Discord. And right now, it's going to be closed at least through the end of December. Unity, another one I love, came up. It's bumping its head off of 25. 25 is a key support resistance flip from all the way back over in here. Ton of support, so it's no surprise that it's bumping its head and getting rejected up here in the 25. Once it breaks through, you'll have that one candle that just is a real shove through, might even run all the way to 30 before kind of rolling over, building a base around 25, and then continuing. Unity, another one like AI, I think is a great merger acquisition style play. I bought a bunch of shares around the low 20s, and I'm just going to be chilling on it. Another one that I think can run, especially these small mid caps that have been so beat up, since 2021. Yeah, I mean, this looks great. This to me looks like a spring that came in here right at the lows, very low volume. Now you're starting to push back up. You want to see that one monthly candle that is just a good solid, like I said, move up and out. Might go as high as like 30 to 35. Before then, might consolidate, and then don't be surprised by it doing that. Like I said, I'm not trying to time it with call options or anything along those lines. I'm just in shares, but I think it looks absolutely fantastic. All right, a little bit of meme stock talk. So obviously, not ideal that GameStop did not hold 30 on Friday. But what you want to see is anytime something like this happened, well, let's go back to Unity's chart. Unity's a perfect example. So Unity, gosh, my bad. Sorry, guys. So Unity right here, once it flagged out, it had that couple of days where it sliced through and then pretty much V-shaped recovery up and out of here. So as soon as it came back and it closed, very high volume, this is your capitulation candle, right? This is your freak out candle. This is where you're, oh my gosh, it's going to come all the way down to 13 or lower, right? And then all of a sudden, you get a V-shaped recovery up and out of here. Another famous example was NVIDIA. Back over here, right? And I know sorry, Mike was giving me the heebie-jeebies again. I know I there we go. But anytime you get all those stops taken out, you want that on GME. If with this break on 30, I would even be okay if you have a couple of ugly days back to 25. But then you would want a very fast recovery after that. 30 is definitely a key level that you want to see hold. So if we jump back up above 30 first part of this week, even better. This could be your shakeout candle. But so long as you hold 25, overall, I'm cool with it. For AMC, I bought this on my small account on this day on the gap up right here. Long-term falling resistance. Not only did you gap up above it, but it was protected the very next day. And this is what you want to see. You want to see gaps get protected when a new move is potentially happening. If we go on the weekly basis, you can see it looks that much cleaner, right? No matter how you want to try to draw this, AMC had a first weekly close above resistance since, highest weekly close since September. And then if you look at it on a monthly basis, right? This looks even good as a monthly basis. What I'm looking for overall, so this is when Roaring Kitty came back and we had the quick little, summertime sneeze, if you will. So if I disregard the craziness, just use the top from here in June, plus you're getting, great box office numbers. Overall, I think over the next several months, it can work its way back towards 835 and potentially up towards 10. That's overall what I'm looking for. And the volume came in this month, which is exactly what you want to see. Low volume, low volume. Now volume comes in, highest Thanksgiving box office ever this weekend. So I think it looks great to slow walk its way up and out of here. If you'll remember, I talked about this look way back in the summertime, honestly, right before Roaring Kitty came out, that you would want something like this to build out overall. And that's good that it held right in here. So long as, Adam Aaron doesn't decide he wants to reverse split and dilute everybody to death again, then you should overall over the next 12 to 18 months start working your way back towards that 8 to 10 level. And that's pretty much the swing overall that I'm looking to play in here. Peloton. Looks fantastic. Got a nice daily close above the 10. This is one that I have been talking about since back down here in the low fours. I grabbed shares right in here around the $8 range. And yeah, it looks beautiful. This is exactly what you want to see, guys. Whether it be Peloton, GME, AMC, Unity, doesn't matter. These are all the charts that are just great setups that I said Peloton, don't be surprised if it's the next Carvana, which means it's working its way back up into the 50s and the 60s. I think I easily got a 100% winner on my hand with shares, but it could be a lot more than that. Apple, I think looks fantastic up here. I think Apple is going to make a run to a lot higher highs from here, probably about 285 or so. I certainly think it's going to push 250. Full disclosure, I'm looking at middle of January 250 calls. I'm probably going to grab some of those in my smaller account. I think Apple is primed for a bust out of here and a pretty quick move higher into the year. I think it'll be 250 pretty easy by the end of the year, barring nothing happen. Yeah, that's all I got time for. Sorry if there's any audio issues or anything along those lines. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. I wish you all the best. And you guys know the deal. Nothing I'm giving you is financial advice. I want you to make great decisions for yourself, your family, and your portfolio. But if you are leaning bearish or listening to anybody who's been bearish on the markets, just please stop. It's because they just don't understand market structure and what's going on. And I don't know. I think we're still months away from some shaky times. And I think if we get through kind of that February, March time of next year, we don't get any, super significant pullback, nothing crazy happens, then these markets are going to be much higher than where we're at right here this time next year. So but I could be wrong. I'm just an idiot on the internet. So trade your plan. Much love, guys, and I wish you all the best this week, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.